You ever got a racist blowjob, Arturo?
I think they all have been.
Solid. Yeah, I mean, if we're snipping, we're snipping. But I don't know. Where does it turn into dog eugenics? They keep showing up, and I hope that every time they do is the time that somebody's going to tell them the secret. Have you done a deep dive on the Birds with Arms subreddit? There's a big Raven presence there, yo. And they are certainly gym bros.
Yeah. Welcome to our
Birds with
segment, Birds with
Arms.
Arms. Coming up on Manly Girly. If you had to fight one of the two, Koala
I
or
think
Flamingo.
I'd try to choke out a flamingo.
If you lost your dick, like if it was exploded away, do you think it would be difficult for you to find a reason to keep on living?
Jam. Somebody will break out the ukulele and the violin.
Oh, solid choices all around.
Jam band.
Absolutely.
We're starting a family band.
Yeah.
Just take clips out of the band episode and make them sound drops for the intro.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So welcome to Manly Girly, Jake. Art Turo. This is Andy.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Welcome. Glad to have you. Glad to be joined by you in this Pact for Blood. I forgot what I was recording this into yesterday, but it was something.
Well,
I'm not recording it
we don't
today,
have to worry
but
about it right
we have here Jacob Rice. Jake Rice. What do your friends call you? What do you go by?
Just that, probably Jacob, Jake,
And,
whatever
now.
feels
Jake the
natural.
Snake. Yeah.
And you are a comedian in the local scene, an avid tennis player, from my understanding.
Nah, yo, I got back into dabbling in tennis.
In tennis, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yo, but I'm definitely canceling tennis club.
Why?
So don't worry about that.
I've been
What's
seeing
wrong?
it for like the past month. People going.
Yo,
tennis
it
club.
was exactly. I had a month worth of organizational effort, and I was hoping to scam somebody who's better at like setting up a meetup group and actually like messaging everybody and letting them know when it happens
Yeah.
into doing that, and I've been
Okay.
unsuccessful.
So you were looking to find somebody to do all the work and you could take all the credit?
No, I don't even want any of the credit, yo. My schedule's too busy with everything else to add that to it.
I see. You
And my
just-
friend Helen was looking for people to play tennis with, so I was
so
like,
she didn't follow
Yeah.
through?
no, she's the
That's
only
a
one that ever
tennis
like
trip.
consistently showed up.
Oh, okay.
No,
Everybody
we just
else
had a
was a
weekend
flame.
where everybody was busy, and I was like, this is perfect. I don't want to do this anymore.
And
Well,
that's
so
how
what are you
make
gonna
that
do?
decision.
You gonna quit the game just like that?
No, I didn't know if I'd still be able to play because like I was worried. I used to play like in high school and college.
Yeah.
And like I got pretty decent,
Yeah.
but like since then I'd broken both my shoulders, so I just assumed I couldn't play tennis anymore.
Did you break both of your shoulders at the same time?
No,
Okay. Thank goodness.
no, I had a bull fall on me. For
I mean,
one
I
of them.
assume that
A
you
bull,
can.
like a.
Yeah.
I have a good bull story. Remind me after this.
No. Let's hear it.
No. I gotta hear your bull story. We're gonna see who's got the bigger bull.
Yo, one
bigger
rolled
bull.
over on me.
What?
My one kind
How?
of rolled over on me, but I was in the car, so I think you won.
Oh, in the car? Well,
was
that's
in
how
the
I broke
car.
the other shoulder. So I got run over by a bus, but I was in my car. Like somebody
Wait.
T-boned a school bus, and then it hit me like head on.
So, in what context were you in a place though that the bull could physically roll over on your person?
A rodeo.
Okay, so that makes sense. I have been to a rodeo.
Oh, solid.
Yeah. I rooted a lot for the animals.
Yo, big up. A lot of people do.
Nobody did it at the rodeo I was at. It was
Oh, yeah.
from a very small town in Oklahoma.
Yo, and more often than not, they win.
yes.
Like,
Cool.
especially in the PBR, it's over. Yo, the Bulls won.
What's the PBR?
Wrap it up, fellas.
That's the professional bull riding.
Yeah. It's like it's the highest tier.
Yeah.
It's like the
Oh,
NBA
shit.
of bull riding. Like I go to like bull riding open mics.
The NBA of
It's
bull
very
riding.
cool to
So
watch. I love it. Actually, I would rather watch it live, just mostly like any other sport.
Yeah,
you
yo,
know
it's
what I
it's
mean?
fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's an experience going to a rodeo, and
So-
especially to a bull riding event.
So if the PBR is the NBA of bull riding, what is the WNBA of bull riding?
Mutton busting.
Yo, it could be. I'd probably say breakaway roping.
Oh, what is that? I don't even know.
This
But
is
it's
the WNBA, bro.
but I-
Exactly. Nobody knows. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm
I'd
sure
be
it's
really good at mutton busting. Maybe I'm just thinking like.
Hey, yo,
something that I
let's
could
get
do.
Brittany Griner on a horse, yo. Free her from Russia. She roping these goats. Let's go.
What? So you're talking like a Squid Game, like like if you're in Russia, you get to perform. If you can perform a fantastic feat, then you get to pardon. But I
Yo,
think I'm the
son,
only
she
one.
can perform a fantastic feat. You know how many girls she's making come in that Russian prison, bro?
Oh, what do you think? What do you think that? Do you think her skill in basketball translates over to the sugar walls, as the hot strings would call them?
No, not at all, yo. I think she's top lesbian in the game in the U.S., and she's taking her talents abroad.
America, baby.
Yeah, yo, I think the hottest Russian girls are protesting just to get locked up to get on that cell block.
I mean, where else are they going to get the chance,
I mean, there's always another war,
Yeah, yo, we're at peak risk right now.
I think so.
Oh, yeah, this could be the last podcast that anybody ever records.
It could, yo. Add a nuclear siren effect to your soundboard
Yeah,
before this is over.
Funny enough, we have I don't want to do it because I don't know how to turn it on, but and this week we've got some new equipment and the lights are
Oh, I thought you
Bluetooth.
were going to say we have a bunker. It just... Great, we're locked in here for a week now.
Yeah. Well, we've got the bunnies. They'll procreate and we can eat them.
Yeah, they'll
Solid
keep
work.
us
one's
keep us
chubby.
safe
Yeah, that and the
Yeah.
succulents.
in case and then we'll just have to party, or in case the cops show up.
To take us away because we ate
Yeah.
the bunnies?
Yeah, this is the siren. This is what I'll play for the apocalypse. That
Oh, solid. But yo, actually, don't
That's
put it in your
enough.
YouTube video because that'll mess up your monetization.
Oh yeah, well we're
Yeah,
not
like
monetized
yo,
yet.
worse. Like FCC hates the emergency raid siren sound more than
Oh.
cursing. At the end of the day, because it automatically activates emergency radios and stuff like that. If once you hear the that's why it does that. Is that frequency
Okay.
triggers things.
Oh yeah, like kind of like an innate response from humans.
Well, no, not even that. The radios are tuned. Like when they hear that frequency, that activates all emergency systems.
Okay. I did not know that. That's dope.
Yeah, so that's why you never hear songs that have it in it on the radio. It is a
Yeah.
guaranteed way to not get your song on the radio.
Right. Okay. That's dope. Do they have sirens here? Like when there's a hurricane?
What about if you have this sound on the radio?
Yo, that sound, then the Breakfast Club would be off air 8 years ago, bro. Let's go.
Oh. You guys can keep talking, sir.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no worries. No, it seemed like you were on a whole thing.
Exactly.
not.
Yeah.
Trying to stay cool.
I don't remember
warm.
what I said, but
Yo, so what's your bull story?
Oh, my bull story. Yeah, I was bartending and I was on my way home. It was this rural place. I bartended a wedding, right? And it was gorgeous area, but I'm driving home and it's pitch black outside and this truck's coming towards me. He's flashing his headlights. I'm like, dude, it's 2:00 in the morning. I know you do not think that I am going to roll down my window and speak to you, but I can tell something's happening, right? And so I crack my window just a littlest bit, but I don't even stop the car. I'm still rolling, right? And he's like, you just need to be careful because the cows got out of the field. And I was like, well, are they your cows? And he's like, I suppose they are. And I was like, you suppose? Jesus Christ.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
No sooner than I pulled away, I barely had my foot
Oh,
on
no.
the gas, and a cow or a bull comes rolling. He hits the side of my car and rolls up on the and just flailing around on the hood, and I'm screaming, and there's glasses everywhere, and I'm just yeah. And then he gets up and runs off, smashed the shit out of my car.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising.
In
It was
Oklahoma?
incredibly, yes.
Listen,
Where else does
I
a
am not
bull run into
surprised
the side of your car?
because in
Well, I've
Oklahoma,
had the cows get out of the house, yo.
Get out of the house?
No, get out at the house.
Oh, you have cows?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
I live on a
sense.
tobacco farm in Benson.
That's so neat.
Yeah, so
we're
we got cows.
gonna homestead after this place.
yeah,
Yeah, that's our plan. That's what the bunnies are for. We'll have to
Oh,
plug
solid.
in bunny cam in the edit. But yeah, we're gonna give them away as pets. Friends, family, and they can always return them. I mean, man's gotta eat. No bunny. Are you a bunny
Are you
lover?
not a bunny fan? A rabbit food fan?
I don't know, yo. I ain't never had I'm sure a rabbit stew's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've had bear hamburger helper before, so I'll
Really?
get some strange meat going.
Yeah, it's
Why
very
a
lean. We'll
hamburger
make you something.
helper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did did you put it in Hamburger Helper?
And then we'll make you a hat.
Because it was like greasy. Bear's kind of greasy.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like grizzly. So like, yeah, no pun, but like,
That's
It eats
good.
garbage,
No, I was
you
gonna
know?
say
nah,
that all the. I
like
would say
so
that all the
it's
time.
like I just figured like throw some hamburger helper at
did
it.
you have
Plus,
bear
I
meat?
fuck with a hamburger helper heavy.
I hear that. Yeah, I make a version of it, little homemade Hamburger Helper. So I fucks with it.
It's an Hamburger Helper exclusively made at home.
Hamburger Helper is exclusively
No,
made
I'm
by
opening.
white
I'm opening
people.
a hamburger helper restaurant. Yo,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
opening like real home
That's what
cooking,
I'm saying.
Hell
where it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
TV dinners, but like with the boys.
Yeah,
Hamburger
kitchen at the
Helper
table, you know?
Is
Kitchen at the
only
table.
is only for white people, and we will flock to that restaurant for sure. You know,
Solid.
in droves with our Crocs.
No
And,
Crocs. Yo,
no
if you
Crocs?
no Crocs allowed, and
You'll
if you
turn us
show up
away?
and you have the Croc decorations in them, you're shot on
The
sight.
little
yo.
Croc
Yeah.
jewelry. You know, I didn't even know that was a thing. I saw somebody with some Crocs the other day, and I was like, "Oh, that's really interesting what they've done." And then I found out everybody is doing it. You can find them everywhere, and children. It's like
Solid.
it's not
yeah.
just for children.
What, Crocs?
Oh yeah, Crocs and Croc jewels. Did you know? Like the little
Didn't you
things
tell me
put
that
on
you
the Croc?
hate somebody with Crocs, like a chef that just wear Crocs at home?
I mean,
Or did I hear it on a podcast?
most chefs wear Crocs. I think,
Ew.
or a lot of them.
I know, right? Like,
That's why I make hamburger
I mean, I
helper.
kind of get it. You
and
know?
your kid, just think about this. Your kid wants to be a chef. He's going to be wearing fucking Crocs for the rest of his life.
He's too cool for that. He would never. He's rad.
You go clogs, maybe.
Clogs, like a little Dutch boy.
Yeah, well, no, that's like the other shoe. It's like either Crocs or like essentially clogs in the kitchen because it's like the same as OR footwear at the end of
Yeah.
the day. Like it's amazing how similar surgeons and chefs dress.
I can
Like
see
either
that.
you're a line cook or you're doing heart surgery. Like
Either
you
way,
got
you're
a
getting
scrub
blood in
cap,
your-
you got Crocs. Yeah,
Either way, you're getting blood on your feet, you know? Like, so.
So one time I was working at a restaurant and we had lobsters and we used to make them like fight each other. You know what I mean? Like when we were bored, if it was slow or whatever, we'd.
how do you bet on a lobster fight?
I mean, I'm
Is it
not
just
really
winner?
sure.
Like,
It's
can they
winner,
cover?
winner,
Yeah.
lobster dinner, I guess.
right.
So anyway, you get the lobsters and then you flick them in the head a whole bunch of times and get them really mad, and then you cut off the rubber bands and they go.
Yo,
at it.
if PETA wasn't mad about the bunnies, there's
Right,
gonna
this
be
is not sanctioned.
there's
by
gonna be
Manly
some
Girly,
comments.
by the way.
you know? Yeah.
I
This is
feel
a
like
non-sanctioned
does PETA
event.
care about lobsters? PETA cares about everybody.
PETA
doesn't
PETA cares about
everybody.
everything except humans. Okay.
Exactly.
Yo, 90% of the snow crabs have died in the last. Like the population's down 90% over the last 2 years. They canceled the season.
That's not because
Yeah.
of me. I don't
No,
even
it's
like
not.
snow
But there's going to be
crab.
no deadliest catch next year.
Oh my gosh.
So I think there's going to be an opening on Discovery, and you can fill it with lobster fights.
Yeah.
Okay,
Listen.
this is now a pitch meeting.
I mean, I'm here for it. I brought this idea because it's a banger. You know.
You know, how about instead of a world war, we'll have a world at war, just species against each other, kind of like a Hunger Games of like the entire planet. You know, I mean, this is where we're heading, right? Is that not?
Well, I don't know.
We're not heading towards peace. We're not heading
I
towards
could see it.
understanding. You know.
Well, if you had like the right kitchen, like, or like even like you could fight a koala versus a turtle, like a big snapping turtle. Just see how long it would hold out. Like if it goes full shell, how long does
Yeah.
it take a koala to really get in there?
Would you would you fight with a koala or a flamingo?
I died personally.
Yeah, personally, if you had to fight one of the two, a koala
I
or
think I'd
flamingo.
try to choke out a flamingo.
It'd be so
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
Their necks are so.
But they can fly.
like noodles. They can't fly. They can fly.
I don't know.
They
I feel like they
migrate.
can fly.
They
I
can't
feel
for
like they
real
could fly.
fly.
I
Can
feel
they?
like they could fly.
I'm not so sure because every time you go to the zoo, they're just got like a little fence.
Those are
you
the
know what I
decorative
mean?
ones. Yo, that's like. Have you only seen plastic flamingos? Yeah.
I need
Yo,
to
they
take
don't
you to
fly. They
Florida.
just stand there in the
I
yard
was
in the
in
same spot
Miami.
all
It was
day.
weird.
And they light up at night. It's crazy.
Well, you know, city folk. Just kidding.
Yeah. I'm gonna take you to Florida. I'll show you some real flamingos. You know.
I love flamingos. I wanted one because I worked at a seafood restaurant when I was a kid, and I thought to myself, I could have a flamingo because I could just bring home all the leftover bits and pieces of fish every day and feed it to it, right?
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Right? I could have a flamingo.
Okay, I have another animal attack for you, and then I'll ask you, Andy. And I wanted
Let's
to
hear
see you, but Jake, raven, right, or ostrich? Which one do you fight?
Man, that's gonna be tough. Certainly
That's a
not
tough
the
one.
ostrich. I think I'd get bodied by an ostrich.
Raven, pluck
Like,
out your eyes.
could I be friends with the raven? Like,
They're smart.
could I write enough like depressing poetry that I could befriend a raven and have it do my bidding?
Feed it French fries.
I
and
think
it
you
will
can.
Be yours forever.
I think you can. It just depends whether you do it quickly enough before it pecks out of your eyes or not, right?
That's why I'm saying
They're
French
very
fry.
smart. They're like the smartest animal, from my understanding, right? Ravens.
I don't know. I mean, I
You
do
know?
like the idea of a super smart bird that would also peck out the eyes of your enemies.
Listen, they're like a gym bro. They're like a chicken, but like on steroids, and like as smart as Rick from Rick and Morty. For a chicken. Obviously.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you done a deep dive on the birds with arms subreddit? There's a big raven presence there, yo. And they are certainly gym bros.
Yeah. Welcome to
Birds
our
with
segment, Birds with
arms.
Arms. Coming up on Manly Girly.
Yeah, just like if you can edit like one of the top posts of like
Yeah.
a jacked bird just coming across the screen there.
Have you ever been attacked by a bird?
No, but I saw a bird attack another bird. Like I saw a hawk take down a pigeon off the top of a fence before.
That's bananas. Yeah, I like watching those. Or like when they'll just be in the sky and like they'll dive on a hawk and try to like fight it or whatever. It's pretty cool. Yeah. But no, a bird actually, I was walking to work one day and it hit me in the side of the head because I walked too close to its tree.
Huh.
I know. And then it chased me down the road. Yeah,
Yep.
so
Have you ever been attacked by a lobster in a similar fashion?
well, that's what I was going to tell you. So the lobster story, we're fighting these lobsters one day, and then everything gets kind of busy, so we all have to stop. And we're like, lobsters, you're fine. You're on the counter. You're, kill each other, whatever. And we get to doing whatever we're doing, and one of the chefs is cooking, and all of a sudden you hear a scream. That freaking lobster came over to the side of the thing and took his little lobster claw and clipped him. Like right in his groin, right next to his nutsack. He had to go to the hospital.
Rogue lobster.
There was so much blood, you can't even. I mean, the scream was blood curdling.
Wow.
Poor guy.
That's brutal.
It was, but it was hilarious. I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
die.
no. That's like the highlight of a line cook career. You just imagine every other restaurant you go to, you just tell them, hey, this one time.
Oh, we ripped on him for months, years. I'm sure they're still ripping on him. I mean, he got clipped almost in the nutsack by a super pissed off
Like he gets
lobster.
an inner thigh lobster tattoo
You know what it makes
that
me
he
think
just
of
has
now?
to explain. He's like,
Larry
nah.
the lobster from SpongeBob. Yeah, he was not feeling it.
Yeah. Speaking of nutsack, what do you think about spaying and neutering animals? Right? Like, is it selfish to spay and neuter an animal just it doesn't ruin your house?
It's up to you, yo. Big up Bob Barker on the spay and neuter game. I think, with like this Roe v. Wade game, a lot of people are trying to spay and neuter their boyfriends for sure to save cost. Like I've definitely had to like have the conversation as a leave it in kid, on like the route to go with that. So yeah, I mean if we're snipping, we're snipping, but I don't know. Where does it turn into dog eugenics?
Well,
knows?
I'll spin it for you, and I think this is there might be a difference here depending on how you identify. And the question is, I assume that you're a cis het male.
Yeah, we out here, baby.
Yeah, that's right. They still exist, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let them fool you. Likewise, and would you say that if you lost your dick, like if it was exploded away,
If a
Would you-
lobster clipped it off.
if a
Yeah, yo, if a
if you
lobster
lost the fight with a
snipped
lobster,
her. Yeah.
That was Keith. Nearly
do you
dead.
think it would be difficult for you to find a reason to keep on living?
Huh? Oh no. Like, come
You're
on.
ready.
Dude.
You're ready for it.
Nah, yo,
I'm not.
snip me
You're
up.
better-
Inshallah, baby. Yo, give me that snip. Have you seen the work they're doing with gender reassignment, yo? Let me get that
Oh.
gender affirmation surgery.
It's like you need a
I'll
port
blow that
already
bad
there.
boy up, yo. I'm gonna be doing dumb movies.
Oh, it's like
Dumb
installing a
movies are gonna be
240 volt switch in your garage. You're ready. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Okay, you ready to plug something into that and
Yeah,
just
like
turn it
I'm-
on full power,
like I'm
blow
cool.
the breakers. Like
Yeah, I'm qualified to do some strong amateur work now, but I'm getting something industrial as the replacement.
Blow the breakers, replace the HVAC, and just run everything through that circuit,
Yeah, plus I've been drinking my whole life, doing drugs. Who knows how long the vascular system gonna be going out? You know what I mean? Just put it in.
Trade it in. It's like you're trading in your gas vehicle for an EV. It's just a completely different thing. It kind of does the same thing, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll slap a pussy on this thing. Let's have some fun, yo.
Get two of them, 2 pussies.
Yo, I couldn't resist trying to go for a TP. Let's see what it's about.
Oh, yeah. And guess what? But you make them in a triangle, right? That way the dick goes in one and one ball in each other. Just bloop.
What's wrong with you guys?
Kind of like
What's wrong with you?
Kind of like an outlet.
I don't know. At least we're not fighting lobsters, man. What are you talking about?
Kind of like
Whatever. That's how this all started because you were fighting lobsters and your dick got cut off.
Yeah. Well,
it always comes
run
down
the
to
risk.
dicks,
I've never. Well, I did fight some lobsters. I was more of a spectator.
Yeah, nah. Me and my Hispanic boys still do. Yo, if you go to a rodeo, you can find a cockfight. All right, you can get on Facebook Marketplace and get some great shank talons.
It sounds like a place to go to for Manly Girly News. Upcoming show.
Are you a House of the Dragon fan?
No.
No.
I missed the wave. So I only ever saw I saw the last season of Game of Thrones because I was just with a girl at the time who was like, "Yo, check this out."
She's like, "This is what I'm doing, and you want to be here, so this is what we're doing."
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, "Are we gonna have sex later?" And she's like, "Maybe."
Nah. This is all I was there to do, yo.
Okay. Well, the point is,
But the show seemed all right. Yeah.
House of the Dragon. Spoiler alert.
Is it garbage or is it not garbage? Is what you were going to ask him?
No. The children fights in House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. We just saw the last episode. Even though when you watch Game of Thrones was more epic, but House of the Dragon, there's children fighting each other
just
10-year-olds.
like cockfights, but children.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, like little gladiators.
Yeah.
Like tiny gladiators.
I mean, you could do that with the bunnies.
Well, we have
they probably couldn't do knives, but if you got them sharp grills on their little bunny teeth and just
I got another way to make money with the bunnies, right? So this is actually an alteration to something that's done with guinea pigs in Peru. And it happens at a kermesse.
I don't know. Yeah.
You have a bunch of little wooden houses, for them to go into or arranged in a circle. And then you have the bunny in a box, You kind of get it a little disoriented. You spin the box around, put it in the center, and then you lift up the box. Now, each of these houses has a number painted on it that everybody buys a little raffle ticket for. And if the bunny goes inside the house that you picked, then you get a prize.
Oh, this is much nicer. I like this story much better than the other one.
But the question is, will PETA come after us if we do that? Is the bunny not consenting to work? Is this a right to work state?
I think if you put either a little bow tie or a carnival barker hat on a different bunny by the door and they have to lay their bets in front of that bunny, then I think you're good, yo.
Yeah.
Because they can get mad, but that's too adorable.
That's true.
Well, he's not working for us. He's working for the bunny man. He's working for his friend.
Yeah, that's what we're going to need your LLC.
We keep our money where the bunnies need it most.
Bunny money, That's what we call it that.
That's right.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? Are you still holding shows? Because we kind of got off the way. It's been a while since I've seen you. I knew that last time I talked to you, you're like, you know what? I've been hosting too many shows. I've been doing too many people, too many favors, and I'm going to work on some stuff. From there, I've seen you, you redid a kitchen with the sanding thing,
Oh, yeah.
Which is a big project, but, it's a labor of love. But what else are you doing? Do you have anything in the works?
Just working all the time, yo. Yeah? I'm always ready to quit everything I'm doing. That's just my motivating factor. Is I sit there, I hate it, I'm annoyed by it, then I enjoy it for 5 seconds, and it's fun enough that I'm like, yo, let me hate that again. So I just keep trudging through that cycle. I do a mic at Haymaker every Wednesday, and I just mix that one up. Honestly, that one I just whatever. I come up with a theme every week or something
Yeah.
and sometimes it's end of the month.
Heckle,
it'll be
right?
a spooky storytelling show. Yeah, a lot of times it's a heckle mic.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be a dust one off. You take an old joke to start with, tell it how you used to, and then show how you did better.
How does the heckle mic work? Because I keep hearing that a lot, and I feel like
what is
Andy would be
that?
good for that.
What is that?
And he loves to heckle.
I love to heckle. Yeah, I'm
Oh
a
yeah,
heckler.
yeah, it's a fun time.
Get a couple of beers with me.
Yeah, it's it depends. So like when there's more like a non-comic audience, this is designed around. It's like a hard workout room for just comics. It's a spot to be a hang, just tucked away in a weird spot of town. Just come through at 10 o'clock. It runs till midnight. We're gonna do some shit.
It's like if it's an open mic and only open mic is gonna show up, let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But then like sometimes a crowd will show up, and then I
I've
kind of
seen
have
it.
to explain it to them of like, yo. So try to be a little more creative than just essentially at so many open mics, all people hear is like, yo, shut up. Try to give these guys some respect, and they don't deserve it. They're up there trying to push some
I want to come to this.
stupid premise, yo.
They'll say, yo, shut up.
Just garbage.
Who will say, yo, shut up at a mic?
Huh?
The audience or the...
No, a lot of like hosts and stuff will be like, yo, these guys are trying to work, show them some respect, do all that. Fuck every ounce of that, yo.
Yeah.
They did bad, and they should feel bad.
100%. How do you know what's good anymore if there's a participation trophy handed out every time?
Well, there's anybody on that, but essentially, heckle mic is just sometimes
You're like, I don't agree
I'll
with
give
that,
them a
but-
minute, and so you get a minute to kind of get into it, and then I'll like give the audience a light of like, all right, let them have it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would be so good at that.
Yeah, but by the end of the night, it just devolves into a roast battle, essentially. Like, some people go up and do material. Some people just stand and deliver of like, all right, what you got? And it's a, you look like a whatever, or you're this, you're whatever. Kind of just simple roast. And I encourage that more than just, because anybody could be like, boo, or something just to try to throw you off. That's not really heckling.
I have a question for you. Do you think...
you gotta hit them where it hurts, you know?
Yeah.
At the core.
Yeah, no, my goal is to make them quit comedy.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'd be so you just
Speaking of that, there's many
cry.
reasons why people do comedy, which we found over the last few podcasts. And do you think that, let's say, if one is a local comedian, right? Are they more motivated by, let's say, money, right? I don't know if they're shows that are booked that pay or they pay on that.
Yeah.
Or are they more
Like,
motivated?
people get paid at the House of Art show. They get paid at most shows. It's like there's a handful of people who rip people off, and that's just not how I like to see it done.
no.
Yeah. Or would they, let's say they're doing a gig that's paid, but there's
The jokes are a formality for most local comics or people who want to get into comedy. That's
what do you mean a formality?
It's the thing they do. It's because they're lonely or they don't have a good friend group or something like that. Like, it's the thing you do to hang out and drink with your friends. Because all you guys meet up, you see each other 5 nights a week. The jokes, you have to go up to the mic and do your fucking spiel to hang out and drink with everybody. But that's the price you pay to do this. And for a lot of people, that's enough. It's
I see it
validating
like
in
that.
some way,
Sure,
and
yeah.
it's just something to do to burn time. And there's
Get out of the house.
yeah, there's
you know?
events for those people,
Yeah.
and that's where some mics that are a lot lower stakes are. That it's just they like to drink. There's their friends that they hang out with, and that doesn't diminish it in any way. If you're doing it for that, good on you. But get out of the way when it's like a real opportunity thing. And there are people who are chasing it and building and doing that, and they have a lane.
What's
Sure,
that? What do you
absolutely.
mean, like a real opportunity thing?
Either they're actually funny and they should go far doing this, or they're willing to put the work into not only promoting themselves, but creating interactions in an industrial manner. Like, there's so much of like opportunity in comedy that is just people who think they deserve something holding themselves back.
Yeah, I
Because
think
they don't like, all it takes is an email, a follow up, being polite, showing some FaceTime at the shows and stuff like that. And these are like seasoned things that a lot of people gatekeep because they think that holding other people back or letting people know how to do it would get in their way of doing it. And to some extent it does, but really at the end of the day, if you're funny enough, you'll get it with so little effort because so many other people put in such less.
I could see that. No, that's great. I don't think that I can disagree with any of what you're saying. I think, in a sense, like, I was talking about this with somebody the other day, right? Like, a comic before there was a comic, right? Like, the comics I see as a subsection of, in the best cases, a subsection of an artist, right? In the worst cases, I think the subsection of a marketing guy, and that you could tell jokes before there was a word comic, right? Like before the term of comedian became a thing, right? Until you started doing that. And then my question is, well, and you've been in comedy for a while, and this is great. Like it's and thank you for putting all those different layers, right? Like there's
Yeah.
people that just want to hang out with their friends, right? Doing some comics. To everybody, each their own way. I really don't care. I think everybody can find their meaning, right? As long and it may be me. I put a high bar on authenticity. It's like, okay, well, what are you actually doing? I want to know what you're about and what you want to do. So
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Whoever you are, be who you are. But like,
be who you
don't
are.
pretend.
Right.
Yeah.
If, for example, like I tell Annie, I'm like, listen, I'm not an asshole. I don't intend to be an asshole, but I am self-aware that I know I can come off like an asshole, and at times be an asshole even if I don't intend to be. Right? Like that's I'm not putting myself down. Right? I'm just aware of what you can be an autopilot. Right? And I had this question as to whether, and maybe it was an allergic reaction that it's more important to, let's say you come up with to be true to, because comedy is one of those art forms where it's very vocal and you can really put a viewpoint in a way that maybe is palatable, right? So you can say things with a little bit of padding.
Yeah, you can do that, but why would you when you could just be fucking silly, bro?
Well, you can be both,
Yeah. Oh, you certainly can, bro.
right?
But don't you fucking love to laugh?
Yeah. But question, do you love to laugh? If doesn't matter if it's at reality, right? Like does reality matter whether this is like Matrix question. Is the steak, does it matter that the steak is tasty and delicious if it's not real?
Yeah.
In the scene from the Matrix where Cypher
Yeah.
is like, he's like, I know that this steak is just the Matrix telling my brain that it's tasty and delicious. And he says ignorance
Yeah, but
is
he'd
bliss.
rather have that.
He'd rather have that, but that is not the reality. Does it matter?
So that's where you get into like, is someone a comic? Do they enjoy comedy? Like as an audience member, I think not to be like comedy's like magic, but like if you know
Yeah.
the secret of magic, you probably hate watching magic, or you're still
Okay.
like you think a trick's incredible or something like that. But if you're in the audience watching, you just want to be amazed. So I think from a comic standpoint, you came out to laugh. You got a babysitter, or you are out there with a date, or whatever it is. You came there to laugh, and all these like extra tiers of like needing a viewpoint or like the extra societal or social pressure on it just makes it harder for you to do that. So I don't think they care how the steak or the
if you're-
joke
if
tastes
you're
as
the audience
long as it
member there.
makes them happy, if it makes them laugh, and they can
yeah.
get away from all that.
Okay, so therein lies my question, right? That's the audience member, right? What is the motivation of the comic up there? Because arguably, every comic that's up there has the motivation to make the audience laugh. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there,
I don't know, yo.
right? Well, the assumption is right because then we're
Yeah.
splitting hairs about the motivation of the comic, right?
Okay, but if you're
Assuming
the
that-
comic in the back of the room watching that comic up there, do you usually laugh at their joke, or do you fucking love to see them die a
No,
terrible death, yo?
I don't.
I'll cackle if a motherfucker is bombing, yo.
I'll laugh if they're bombing, especially if they know how to handle it, right? Like I hope that they'll kill. I just want them to. I want to hear what their jokes are like, not what their jokes are. What the audience thinks that they want to hear, right? And I think there's a difference because it's kind of like reading the comments on Twitter, in my opinion. Then it really modifies your point of view, and little bit by little bit, because they're not really you, it starts chipping away at who you are. And by the time you're down the lane, is there anything left?
I don't know. I think that's why a lot of people quit. And it's what made my events and like doing too much frustrating is that I got burnt out and I wasn't having fun there anymore. So I started showing up and just being annoyed that people were there, that I was making jokes. I hated the idea of being funny. Just there was so much extra in the way of doing it. And that's why I had to like cut back on doing everything. So I don't know. I think that's a bigger existential question of like figuring out. But like, you don't do stand up, right?
I don't know, but
She's
I'm
very
curious
funny.
then in that case, because it gets frustrating and you get burnt out. What's the motivation to do open mics? I've actually wondered that before because it seems like it's a lot of work for you, and you're a comic, and so you know, in my mind, you'd just like to get up there and probably tell your jokes and enjoy the audience and everything like that, rather than I don't like to wrangle people. You know what I mean? Do you? What's the motivation there?
Oh,
I just
yo,
need to know.
No, I'm stupid, yo. No, like I'm my worst enemy. Like nobody hates me like I fucking hate me, bro.
I hate
and
that that's the
I
answer.
just make me suffer through like organizing this stuff for people who could give a shit.
This is
We care,
you're
man.
somebody's mom right now. You're just getting shit on over this, and that's how I felt about the open mics. I was like, I feel like you're wrangling all the cats, man. Don't do it.
Yeah, but it has to exist.
It has
so
to
like
exist, but
so yes, as it slowly builds up around that, I did what happened was like during COVID, everything kind of went away, and like
did it?
I was invested enough in the comedy scene at that point. I was like, oh, well, I know what I'm really good at, and that's like business relationships, stuff like that. Let me get things started, and then I'll hand them off. But like, I won't let the scene die on my watch.
Right.
So I was running like 5 events a week. I was
Wow.
doing stuff like 2 on the same night, where I'd run from one venue to the other, all that stuff. And just I never dialed in that handing it off to somebody else part,
Right.
because
Because
way
it was
I
your baby.
no, just the way I built things, it was too contingent on me being there. Like, and not in like a braggish way or
No, I
anything like
get
that. It
you,
was just
yeah.
like
You
just
need-
the way I designed
You
it
had the setup and everything.
was
but
it was
the-
only like
I get you. Yeah.
where I would do it instead of like building it in a way where anybody could be in that spot. And that's way better to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like when people ask me for advice on anything or along those lines, I say, don't do anything I did. I did it all wrong. I made every mistake.
You're like, my scalability was crap.
Yeah.
You know? Well, what are you going to do? You know? Build a better mousetrap. So,
Yeah.
better comic trap.
Yeah.
So
You
what
put
do
in
you?
a trap
What,
for comics?
so which one's yours? Why do you do it?
Which one? What do I do?
Yeah,
Stand up or
the comedy.
produce events?
No, not
Like,
produce, because it sounds like you hate it. But
Yeah, no,
Stand
that's
up.
the worst part. Yeah. Oh, dog, I just like it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I have a super addictive personality, so
Yeah.
like that's what I tell people is like and comedy for a lot of people is an addiction.
Sure.
The same way of hanging out with friends or something like that,
Yeah.
and like whatever it is for me. Like so when I was doing like bull riding and stuff like that, like I just the rush of it, it felt so good that like I couldn't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Until I got literally too hurt to do it. Like that
Two
bus
broken
wreck, I stopped.
shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should get a bunch of comics to do the bull riding. I had some of the local open micers in Austin did this.
Oh, yeah.
for,
No,
like,
I'm
a
down.
good $2.
There's a
Yeah.
practice pin here in Fayetteville
Really?
at Shady Acres every Sunday. You can go
Wow.
get on 3 bulls for
what?
$20. Yeah.
What? All right, to write the it's recorded. So
Yeah.
Well, we're going.
holy shit!
No, I'm
yeah,
trying to
we're
line it
doing
up with people, but it's like starting tennis club. It's like the fucking trying to line up these hikes.
Hey,
like,
we'll film it because we want to shoot some manly girly content. You know?
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Um,
I'm
no,
not
I was
getting
actually
them.
supposed to get back on just because I wanted to see if I could still do it, and
Yeah.
it was the weekend of the hurricane, so it didn't work out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then I just haven't had the time line up.
The bull's been calling, huh? He's like, "You dodging me, bro?"
Yeah, pretty much.
Where you
Nah,
been?
It's just
Using the hurricane as
it
an
is
excuse,
really
huh?
fun.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've ridden
Yeah.
like the mechanical bulls before. It was a lot easier when I was younger. I don't feel like I want to do it anymore.
Nah, it's a good time. It's a
Okay.
rush, and then that's so with stand up. Like I was a fan of stand up first, and I like it, and I've always been silly or made jokes or whatever. But anybody conversational funny is different than the on stage thing.
100%. Conversational funny is more like a podcast, I think. You know, where you can make what you don't.
Sort of, it can be, but also it's like I don't know. I'm trying to bridge that gap now of like the on stage. Like I want it to feel like I'm just talking to everybody.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like that.
Sometimes it does when I do it
on
right,
stage.
but like
No, I mean on a
I can still
podcast.
miss, yo. I'm by no means an expert. Like,
Yeah, I
yo,
mean-
I've killed, but I've also bombed terribly.
I mean, one would argue that it is a requirement to get better, right?
Sure,
Otherwise, you're just gonna plateau. If I think if you're not missing, then there's probably not some chances are not being taken anymore, right? If you have banger material that you say every time and it sounds like every time, well, I guess it's a difference, and maybe I think I have it wrong, right? Because
Well, there's both. Like, you do need to be consistent and have a set and do that, and that's part of making it and taking steps in the industry and then getting
Yeah.
to a point where you can work that other stuff. A lot of
Yeah.
people, myself included,
But Yakov Smirnoff's
just
doing
threw
his
stuff
set in
away too
Branson for the
quick.
last 30 years, you know? Like, is that what being a comic is? If so, I could, quit.
I mean,
Maybe
it
I'm
bought
not
his
gonna-
house, it bought his career.
But there are
maybe
better
he's
ways
happy.
to make money. There are
So,
easier ways to make money.
I
Are
feel like
there
this
none?
I feel like this is the question then, the question of the artist and the one-hit wonder and whatever. Do you sell
I mean,
out?
don't get me wrong. They're both valuable, and that's what I'm saying. I may have the wrong perspective, right? Like, for example, a painting by a famous painter, right? Like, is both a painting than, let's say, whoever painted the art at a hospital, right? They're both painters. They're both artists as well in their different way, but I guess in which way is their art different? Because that's kind of like the closest analogy that I can feel to sometimes where it's like, and maybe it's my perception over that, that art should take chances, right? Especially in a time of division, which is a time that I think we live in, right? To kind of like bridge the divide. And maybe I'm looking too deeply into it.
Well, I know that I personally, if I could be a one-hit wonder and, just get rich off of that shit and then peace out, that is exactly what I would do. 100%.
Subscribe.
I have no qualms.
Yes.
Pay me.
Yeah.
And that's a root. And I don't know. I think, like you said earlier, authenticity shows. And it doesn't just like show, it translates. Because like some of the biggest channels, some of the biggest stuff is like, you can tell people love what they're doing. And it's really genuinely who they are. Like, I don't know. I went down a big like YouTube hole the other day of watching all the Storer, like the British parkour group.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like, yo, it's dope. It's just fun stuff to watch. But they're also like good friends.
Neat.
And you can tell they love what they're doing. They support each other. And it's just fun to watch the authenticity of what they do. I think for comedy, at least, to bring it back to like how that works, is like consistency is just as important.
Yeah.
And it's something I heard Bert Kreischer say, like on a podcast one time, was like about viral moments. Is that you have to be consistent, you have to be funny all the time and have it there and constantly have it, because then when you have whatever moment makes you pop like that, people discover it all and go back through it, and then they're like, oh, they've been doing this. Let's give them like, for example, like Ariel Elias just had like
who's that?
You don't know exactly,
Yeah.
but everybody knows, that comic in New York that had a can threw at her and then chugged it.
Oh, no, I don't know about that.
Oh,
I
well,
didn't know about
it's a
that,
big
but
trend
it's
right now on a
we're
bunch of different
boomers.
platforms.
Listen, we're boomers as fuck,
But
like,
she's
we're old.
been funny. She's been putting in the work. She's doing stuff. She did the roast battle tournaments and stuff. She's good friends with like Julie that runs the Motorco stuff at Durham.
Okay.
And she got Just for Laughs this year. Like, she's been grinding and stuff like that.
okay.
And then this moment made her pop.
Oh, nice.
Because it's
amazing.
just
that's
the
awesome.
timing of it all. Because it was like a whole other like election Trump supporter thing, like crowd work gone awry situation.
Did somebody
and it
literally throw a beer at her?
yeah.
Holy
Chugged it at her
cow.
head. She picked it up and chugged it. But that
She's a G. Oh my
that
goodness.
viral moment now explodes. But she already had the talent to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
She
amazing.
deserved the spotlight
her.
all along, and this put it on her. So now, but you just the same thing of like, are a lot of these open micers maybe grinding in obscurity? If you're really funny and you're consistent and stuff like that, luck does play that role.
Sure.
And you find that thing that gets you there, or that connection, or that person. But it's bunnies. Yeah.
Yeah, have you
The
ever been to a
bunny
podcast
cam.
with bunnies on it?
No, this is the first.
Yeah, that's the first,
We're going down the rabbit hole,
Down the bunny hole,
That's a good segment, yeah.
Well, we're gonna have it with a guest, hopefully, that he agrees to make some content that is very funny, but has some crazy ideas about wanting a small army of 300 children to repopulate the earth, and he asks every girl on the first date if he can get them pregnant. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, is this something you're shooting?
No. This is a person that this is literally a person. Yeah, like
I
One
can
of our
believe
favorite
that.
persons.
The internet's a crazy
No,
place.
it's a comic.
No, he's a friend of ours.
It's a comic in the scene.
Here?
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Solid.
Yeah, the episode will be up. He loves it. Guess what? 100% authentic. Like, great guy. It's like, I wouldn't make those choices, but he's like, yeah, these are my choices, and this is what I'm about, right? Like, you do you, player. Fantastic. That is what I love,
Call him Abraham.
But not like the, oh, yeah, no, that's not what I'm really doing or whatever. Okay, well, what are you really doing? Oh, well, that's really private. It's like, okay, well, I guess there's only a certain level that I'm going to get to know you, because you don't want me to get to know you further, right? Like, or at least, especially with something that is a public thing,
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, am I hammering on that too much?
A little.
Okay, fair enough.
Let it go.
Fair enough.
What do you got for us? Topic switch. Come on.
Topic switch.
Yeah. I know you got something locked and loaded.
And I usually
I've been
do.
at work all day, so
We're-
I don't get to pick the topics. I
Oh,
don't
no?
have to
You-
pick the
you're
topics. I
busy?
have no homework.
Well, Andy's the more lighthearted topics. I go into. Okay, I'll ask you a question.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you're into, bro.
In case it kind of, I think about these things, and I'm already rants for this reason. So, AI is becoming a thing, right? You saw the Tesla robot thing?
I saw stories. I didn't
Yeah.
actually watch it.
You
Yeah.
didn't watch it? It was crazy.
We fell asleep. It's not that far along. But what happens in a world where any robot can be better at anything, at building a table, at writing a joke, at even writing a skit or a sketch, right? Where any robot, because they can consume massive amounts of information from the input and output end, so they know what makes people laugh, and they know they can figure out what's happening underneath, right? Without
An
knowing
algorithm.
what actually joke is. They're just putting it together. What happens when if that
You know, if
happens?
it becomes formulaic. Well, some people already do that. Like the AI systems are like, there's a lot of artists right now that are like that AI art trend is using their technique and copying their style, and there's nothing they can do about it. The same way, like
like
shit,
the style of
country
JC's
music.
song style,
Do
and
you
by
guys-
AI.
Yeah,
right?
no, country music is written a lot by like algorithms and stuff like that. Like
What?
pop country songs, not and that's where I think the delineation will exist between like what real country music is or stuff like that. Just because that's something I know a lot,
Yeah.
and like what radio country is, where you can hear the same shit and you can tell that it's algorithm that they need to hit this beat, this rhythm, and say this word, and
Yeah.
then none of the rest of it really matters.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess maybe that's why I come at it, because in that world where any run of the mill AI algorithm, right? Let's talk a few years into the future, can be better even physically or artistically at anything than any human. Then what is the meaning for a lot of
Will
humans?
humans want to consume it? Like they can be better, but better for what? So like now everything's about making it palatable. Again, to say like the country music thing is like, Karen Rochelle is from Wilmington. She's an incredible songwriter. She wrote Georgia Rain, Trisha Yearwood song. They're trying to get some dumb girl from The Voice to pass over her song Summers Like That. But because maybe she's not pretty enough or doesn't have like the following of some other girl, that they just make her do her work. So like
Like a Milli Vanilli, you know?
yeah, so probably whoever owned the AI would use it to market a person, because a person's worth more. Like, why don't they show us clothes on robots?
Right. Well,
Like
no,
at
but
Abercrombie, why isn't there like a Victoria's Secret robot model?
but in this scenario, robots are very new, and in this scenario, this AI, like it's like you can buy it like a webcam. Like you could buy any of these, right? So any given, like you're at a store, any appliance can do everything better,
What about if it could weld better than you could?
It
Yeah.
can. Robot welders are better.
and it's cheaper.
Also, like I do stainless specifically, and it's only a matter of time before technology creates some liquid compound that you can paint on the wall, and then it
Yeah.
becomes metal through some
Really?
crazy process. Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
like,
like that, like the
it'll be
Terminator
That's cool,
yeah. So
yeah.
metal will be obsolete. Like everything will be replaced.
What does it mean to be human then?
Yeah, that's the big one. You know what I mean? What are we doing?
Well, and
Yeah.
and I'll tell you why. Maybe this is why I'm so critical of the point that I was bringing up earlier. That if there's anything, because that future seems much closer recently. If that's the future that we're heading to, then what's the purpose of doing anything that's not incredibly genuine that only one can do? Because if all of a sudden what we're striving for is gonna be incredibly beat at any level by that and almost indistinguishable, how much content? How long does it take to produce an album when the AI can all of a sudden make
Yeah.
12
well,
albums
and
of
then
the
who
same
can
s-
consume that content? And finding
Well,
your
oh,
tribe and your
yeah.
people is what, like, at the end of life, like 100-year-olds always say, trace your passion. I wish everybody's regret is not having done the thing that they genuinely cared about most
Yes.
and found the people to share it with.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it requires being genuine, and finding that is a scary path to find. First, to be genuine, you got to figure out what yourself is about, which I think takes a lot of years, unless I'm mistaken. It took me a lot of years. And
So what are you genuine about? Like, what are you most passionate about?
freedom, freedom to create, freedom to change my mind, freedom to talk to all types of people and not necessarily and be able to find the bridge. In order to have that freedom, you need peace.
So
And I
what
think
if
we're heading for war?
so what if an AI
Hmm.
is algorithmically understanding the world enough where they can create a joke, they can do all that? Did they prove you didn't have freedom in any of it? That it was all formulaic?
I never made that argument.
No, it's just, he's
No,
just
I'm saying
asking the
what if?
question.
What if that was the world?
Oh,
Where where freedom wasn't real, where it was all preordained.
Oh, like Westworld.
like Westworld season 3?
I haven't seen Westworld. Is that
if it's preordained, then it's not freedom because free will, or like at least whatever perception of free will that we may have, what is in your brain to a certain degree, unless you put a chip in it, is.
Oh yeah, dog! You
most,
getting neuro linked up? You a technology kid, baby.
I ain't getting neuro linked up. If
Yeah.
anything, we're trying to get free from technology. That's where we need to get middle class monetized.
Yo, middle class monetized.
Did you?
Is that merch? You guys have that?
That's
shirt?
our merch.
Middle class
Yeah.
monetized.
MCM, we don't need a lot. We're gonna, grow some bunnies, some pigs, grow our own food, but technology under our control, like automated, but no link. I'd rather die a human than live forever as a non-human. And that might get my wish because I don't think the new generations remembers what being a human is like. Remembers that
Yeah,
humans
it
make
is
mistakes.
changing, yo.
Well, a human is able to get through trauma by forgetting things and being able to the power of forgetting is almost a gift that we've almost gone against with the way of social media and then the way that it's used now to pretty much conduct witch hunts, and we're just in bubbles, right? Reason why you can't do, I said, a good example, Judd Apatow was making the 40-year-old virgin 20 years ago, but now he's just playing for one specific tribe, right? We used to, in that sense, we used to be a lot more united, and the things that we're attacking are almost the things that people were able to together, maybe if not enjoy, experience. I forget where I was going with that, but
It's all good, yo.
yeah, but that is
And
why
that's how you get the ideas out.
The universe is a big place. So.
And it's like if we got to mine the instrument bias, right? Like humans are susceptible to influence, right? So I think even being able to look within ourselves as to
that's what you're trying to do, and what a big career is, being an influencer. Because
I'm not trying to
susceptible.
influence anybody.
No, but
Nobody's listening to this, and I'm not even on camera
but
anymore.
I mean, if you want to get monetized, then you want people to listen, and the listening will have an influence on them.
But I only want them to listen if what I'm saying is authentic. For example, I'm not going to drive the content to like what they're interested in if it's not something I want to talk about, if that makes any sense. Because once again, and we're talking about this with Andy, like there are a lot of ways to make money, and if we continue just in our careers and what we're doing and investments and all the other side hustles or whatever, we'll be fine. But is that fulfilling? I mean, the fulfillment.
Yeah, I heard Rick Rubin say that on a podcast the other day.
Who's Rick Rubin?
Something around. He's a music producer.
Oh, okay.
But he was saying talking about artists and in it trying to get rich or something like that. He's like, there's easier ways to make money. Just go be on Wall Street. Like,
yeah,
there are quicker,
quicker
easier ways
to make money. Yeah, for sure.
And so it's like, it's like, and guess what? But guess what? If money is the thing, then say that's what the fucking thing is about. Okay, well, there are easier ways to make money. If that's the motivator, have you thought about these ways? Okay, well,
money's not the only thing, but it's a thing that helps.
Yeah,
yo.
but okay, so if it's not the money, what's the other motivation, right? And
what do you think that the biggest motivation, like to you, because you run a lot of open mics?
Yeah, but I only lose money on almost everything I do.
know, but
yo.
well, we're
What's
losing
the
money on
biggest-
this podcast,
Yeah.
so don't worry.
100%,
I know what
yeah.
losing money feels like.
So, but what is the biggest motivator of the comics? I would be curious. Like, would you say it's fame? In most instances, I know we talked a little bit about hey, this is the price that you pay if you want to
At
hang out
what
with your
level?
friends. I don't know, man. Like, I'm just curious. Do a lot of people come up and they're like, man, I just want to get up here and I want to be famous? Because to me, I guess, because comedians, the open mics that I've been to, they're a lot of people just getting up there and playing to a room that may be filled with other just comics. You know what I mean? So are they up there to be famous necessarily, or are they, what's the motivation there? They can't, certainly they couldn't be too excited to say, hey, if I want to be famous, I'm only talking to this room full of comics.
Well,
that can't be a good
there's
motivation,
people
right?
who want to be famous who do that, and they approach it with a different attitude.
Yeah.
That's the work that they have to put in and stuff like that. But also, a lot of those people are disillusioned or don't know the way because this isn't something where somebody's written a book on this is the step, this is how you do it. They've just heard bits and snippets here, like this podcast of like, yo, keep grinding, keep showing up. And they, in lieu of a better plan, they keep showing up and hope that every time they do is the time that somebody's going to tell them the secret. That this is the one.
Get noticed and recognized, and somebody's just gonna pluck them out. And
Maybe. I mean, like you could say that at Broadway, like people working in off-Broadway cafes and stuff like that.
That's
of like,
very true.
what's gonna be the thing that gets them to that level? Like Helen Wildy is a good example of that in that she like goes to stuff where it's only comics, but she's not like, oh man, there's a room of like 5 people here. I'm never gonna get famous. She brings an incredible attitude. She's like, hey, great to see you guys. What are you working on? What do you got coming up?
Yeah.
Like, networks, creates a good vibe and stuff like that. And then not just, she's on a lot of stuff. So she finds out who produces a show. We'll ask them, hey, if you got anything coming up, consider me.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, that's great. Well, we're going to give you a secret here, Manly Girly. We are going to give you a secret. And you know what the secret is?
What's the secret? Arturo.
The secret is,
what's the secret?
if you're young, first, you still have to discover yourself. So do what you're good at. That will probably yield you the most money in the short term. You will rise quickly. At the same time, explore your passions and what you are. That way, invest early. And that way, by the time you're in like your mid-20s, you already have some money invested working for you and maybe even a little cushion. You have some expertise behind you that you can get a mid-tier or high-tier level job so you can actually invest and accelerate your craft by now fully devoting it, by fully knowing yourself. And now, because you have a backup plan that's, if you followed, you know, like you can just survive and live the life that everybody else lives. Now you go all in.
Yo,
now you take the bet.
I really thought you were going to say the secret was like and subscribe.
Yeah,
I thought you were about to make that YouTube.
We're going to cut this all out.
No,
like and subscribe.
Yo, if you're young, subscribe to this channel.
Absolutely.
Even if you're a little older, hit that notification button. Don't miss when we post. Yo, if you're even older than that, just throw that. You see that thumbs up in the corner? Hit that like button.
Well,
Yo, are you not YouTubing? What are you doing?
Well, you know, you beat us to it. It's still on the board because it's getting curious, getting smarter, getting healthier, and getting wealthier with Manly Girly. So yes, if you want the secret, do like and subscribe. You know, you think
is
I
that
didn't
your
have
Patreon?
that?
Yo, we got the secret on our Patreon.
Exactly.
Available now. The base tier, $5, gets you one extra audio episode a month. You can, I got
You know what we're gonna put on the
You know.
Patreon? In the Patreon, we're gonna put the unreleased podcast episode that we couldn't release, and it's gonna be on Patreon.
It's titled "Down the Rabbit Hole." The reason they couldn't release it was because he fucked the rabbit.
It's titled "Napoleon Couldn't Take the Heat," and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna since I can't use any of the footage from our guest, I am going to cosplay as them, and I am going to play all the parts. I'm gonna play both parts.
You can get demonetized if you've never been monetized.
Yeah, it's right now. It's just views and subscribers, baby. You know, and we're just looking to get middle class monetized, so we don't need that many subscribers.
Big up.
Yeah. Just need you know, and
Yo, Kanye just bought Parler. You can dive into that market.
Yeah, watch on Rumble. You know, like subscribe. I don't know what you do on Rumble. Cut yourself.
What
blood
did he
pact.
buy?
Parler, the short-lived Twitter alternative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People still do that? They
Kanye
might
just
now.
bought
Kanye
it, yo.
just bought it.
I don't know. He's been a wild boy.
He has been a wild person. That's
It's like that line in The Replacement. You ever seen that movie? Well, at the very least, they'll be fun to watch. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Kanye? Are you a fan? Not a fan? Did you used to be a fan? Yeah, fuck yeah, you're a fan of the music or of the Twitter
music,
antics?
yo.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you, if we got you one of the hoodies, would you wear it at your next event?
What do you mean?
One of his latest hoodies. The
White Lives Matter hoodie? Yeah, fuck yeah, sure. Of course.
I love this guy.
I mean, did my boots not say it? What's up? What's good? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think we can stencil it on if you want.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yo, this actually, Kanye didn't make this, but this is my buddy's clothing brand.
Oh,
He's
nice.
local. Support it. Yo, the hoodies of this are dope.
Yeah, are they sold out?
No, they're still available online. It was a
saw them
weird
at
marketing
Gap
for the
in
thing, but it's
trash
like
bags.
it's what you're talking about, authenticity. It's sold out because they're sold out of you. It's like a one of one brand.
Oh, okay.
It lays it out a little more in the hoodie. It actually says what on the sleeve.
yeah,
It got a
yeah,
big
yeah.
X on it.
Hey, listen, and if
Well,
you need to
winter's
hire Jake
coming,
for your
you
next
know,
marketing
it's getting
event,
chilly outside.
if you need to hire him for your next rally or event, he is available.
Yeah, what's up? I work both crowds.
All crowds,
Yeah, no, liberal, Republican, what's good? Liberal
I
girls got the
once-
best pussy, but they not touching that MAGA brain, baby. Let's go.
I
You ever got a
once-
racist blowjob, Arturo?
I think they all have been,
Solid.
But I know I was at a mic, Andy, and I think I don't know if it was a black mic or it was a black room, but it was mostly black. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, no, Jake's the blackest motherfucker in this room." Somebody said to me, "Who was that? Big
I was like, it could be
Big
anybody.
Mike,
It's,
Big Mike,
yeah.
Everybody thinks
Big
that,
Mike
huh?
Thaxton. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in a while, but
I think he's taking a break from comedy. He had that thing going at the entertainment center, the Link.
Oh, Wild and Out, yeah.
Entertainment center. Yeah, no, he did that and a couple
Oh, I
different
bombed
shows
there.
there.
I bombed there. I wasn't one of them. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
no, I was supposed to be on that, but I got COVID. That was when I had it, and I missed that show.
Yeah.
I got it the night before.
I played the worst version of immigrant. I played like a token Latino guy because that was
that
what was
wall,
funny,
baby.
apparently.
Get that Kanye hoodie
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
Let's go.
I should have worn a sombrero and a poncho. They would have found it hilarious, but I was a caricature. It's okay. You do some things. Not for me.
It's very funny.
Authentic's the way to be.
I just realized of all your costumes, you haven't a single one that leans into that trope.
Which one?
Yo, they're all to escape that.
I guess he's like, how can I get as far away from this as possible?
Yeah, well, it's because white people are the last race you can shit on openly. So.
Well, is that you guys could pull out a last minute Halloween costume, be Ye and Candace Owens for a party? Let's go.
Oh yeah. If we were monetized, we would do it because we definitely get fired.
Yeah, I don't know how I in any instance can be Candace Owens.
Yo, just rock a weave into MAGA red bottoms. Let's go, baby.
No, but what if
I got
like
red bottoms.
the funny thing is that I have nothing that I've heard Candace Owens I can agree on. From what I'm understanding, she's kind of a grifter because she was super to one side and now she's super to the other. But once again, for freedom, she changes her mind or whatever. And I found
I'm wildly uninformed. I only know what other people say about her secondhand. I've got no first-hand
Kanye.
info.
I have no
Kanye
idea
told
what
you
she
about it.
said, right? But like, why does she seem like such a polarizing image? Like, I know, like, I already know whatever somebody on the right's, they all say the same shit, just like everybody on the left says the same shit. So I already know what they're saying. So why is she such a lightning rod? Like everybody's saying, Tucker's saying the same shit. Tucker.
Yeah, well,
because
yo, like
With a
lightning
better
doesn't strike
with a
your
better
key in a
delivery.
pocket. You know
Uh-huh.
what I mean? She gets up. Somebody is doing the Ben Franklin move.
The what?
Like a key on a kite
A key
kind
on
of
a
thing.
kite.
Of
Oh,
like
yeah,
she's
yeah.
not necessarily a lightning rod, but like she's made of metal, and they
Yeah.
keep putting her up.
Yeah, no, I just saw her. I
So
think.
you think that she's a pawn?
Nah, I'm sure she's like influencing her own decisions and free will and stuff like that. But like, if that's your brand, then that's what it is. So like,
Fair. Okay.
if that's how you stay relevant and stay making appearance fees and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because as much as like the media we're exposed to is the antithesis of her, things that we're not on, like, are probably promoting her and they're happy to see her and they like rail against the cancel culture trying to shut her down. So like, if that's your brand, that's the lane you're in.
Oh well, this is the thing. This is why I worry, right? I came as an immigrant to this country, and I remember us being a lot more united, and that's the reason why I started doing
Against you
comedy.
being here.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
if,
all
Here to
sides, yo.
degentrify
If only-
the whole nation.
if only-
Did they fly you to Martha's Vineyard
Listen,
when you arrived?
if white people could stop having a civil war between like the powerful white men and then white women and the less powerful white men and using us the minorities as fucking badges on their fucking little brownie hat, That'd be great. Fight it on your own fucking time. It's just white people bored as fuck fighting against each other. We, the immigrants, got real fucking problems, you know? Like,
Yeah, nah, they just keep trying to like use you as another rung on the ladder instead of giving you a seat at the table.
exactly.
That's the game. Yeah.
And then I see like, you know, and then I did catch this of Candace Owens, you know, I think it was a documentary on black crime where she's knocking on the BLM door and like she's the only one. Hey, can you answer those questions? And then the footage, it's a news thing. It's like the BLM lady that lived there crying. It's like it's almost surreal because we subscribe to all the news, right? So we see TYT, Rebel HQ, we'll see MSNBC, we'll see Tucker come in.
I don't even know what those first two were. Yeah.
Dude, the other day, it was there was this redheaded girl saying how, you know, Kanye wearing a White Lives Matter hoodie was so racist. You know, it was a very progressive show. And then on the other side, Tucker Carlson, you know, saying he's like, do they just think that we scooped our brains out of our heads and put them down to the shitter and that we're just going to take this on all fours?
Speaking of, Kanye made Tuck watch some wildly European pornography.
No, really?
What?
No. Oh, it was just some clip or something. It was him or the Adidas guy. He was like, yo, check this out. It looks like you. And it's some weird
Oh, that's funny.
Euro stuff.
But is that good? Is that good that everybody gets
the European stuff?
Places?
I'm a big fan of Jacques and Michel.
I don't know
Like some French amateur, bro.
You're so cultured, bro. You like know all these names. Like I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah. I know most porn stars' names. I jerk off too much. What's good?
Hell yeah, dog.
Okay.
You know, I feel myself more of a connoisseur in the last 5 years. Like where I'm with the times. I'm a small business reporter. You know, even in my porn.
Are you the OF kid?
No, I'm DMV kid. You know that's next level. You know? I'll tell you after the show.
Yeah.
Maybe don't. Maybe just don't.
Hey, listen, you know.
Yeah, that's where we edited, yo. No.
You know, like, you know, some people want it all. Some just want everything.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
You're so charming.
Sorry, baby.
Are you?
I'm going to pay for this later, you know?
You are.
Nah, it's you're gonna be back on that. Look, I'm not an asshole. I'm just trying to be authentic. Fight all over again, yo. Arturo, how'd you let this happen?
Well, no, listen.
It doesn't work in the house, buddy.
Yeah.
There's no authenticity here. This is a dictatorship. Okay. And you know what? Actually, this is more like a monarchy.
Yeah. Maybe it's like, do you remember the roasts? Like the roast of Charlie Sheen. The roast of Hugh Hefner, or the roast of Pamela Anderson, right?
Yeah. No, I remember back when Comedy Central was a thing.
Yeah.
No. But and that's what I'm saying. It was on Comedy Central. It was on cable, right? Like mass appeal. And I don't think you can do any of those roasts today. Like any of those jokes on those roasts, not that long ago, which is what I grew up like watching. I was like, holy shit, that's where I first saw.
I mean, that's
Greg
what
Giraldo.
the heckle mic is.
Right. But not in popular culture. Like
Nah. You got to do it in the dark. You got to go find a place nobody's at.
You know what I heard recently by a comic say that if anything, comedy is the most exciting right now because
It has consequences.
it
I already
has.
said it,
There are stakes in comedy. You know, all of a sudden, like it's like you have to make it good. Like, you know, I always tell Andy, and I could have this wrong, right? I'm like, sometimes, you know, because people now think of their jokes before they laugh, right? Sometimes you can pop and see if they really want to laugh. If you like, okay, they didn't laugh, and then you like do a follow-up, kind of like something to release the pressure, and then they're cracking. I'm like, okay. In my perspective, I'm like, you kind of wanted to laugh at it. You know, I could only edge you, you know, like in the current climate, you know. It's like your mom's watching. You're not going to be able to come if she's watching, right? And
Maybe you're not. Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
See what I mean? Because it's silly.
telling your mom.
So silly wins, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
Listen, Andy will tell you, am I not silly?
You're the silliest. He's the silliest man I know.
Right? And because it's silliness, I try to say sometimes, for example, the triangle of fraud is nothing but silliness joke, you know? It's disgusting, right? But there are some jokes, and guess what? Because it's silly, I find it hilarious. But I also, and this is what I'm saying, maybe it's me. I would prefer an audience to think, and I'm going to try to make them think by laughing. because what I want them to think about is something that is not being talked about. And there's no way that they're going to be able to think about it if I come at them in a serious, because everybody's just arguing for whatever they want to argue about, right? So my goal is, besides all the silly jokes that just make me laugh, and she'll tell you stupid shit all the time. Some of these ideas are on the wall. Is sometimes I want them to think about something, and I want them to say it in a joke so they
Put
can,
that wall on Patreon.
so they can dismiss it, right? If let's say they're not open to thinking about it because however they feel, I want them to. That's what the costume is about. That's what looking like a clown is about. So if I touch you a little bit too rough there, dismiss it. There's a fucking clown in front of you saying this joke. But ideally, I want to get better at
Dude, you might
saying
be
it.
onto something. I don't think one clown got me too'd.
Yeah. Well, that's what I so my name's Arturo Lorenzo, maybe. I already almost got canceled 2 weeks into comedy a year ago. So I learned my lesson, you know? Yeah. I had Judas. But we've done like an hour and stuff, you know? I know it's, you know, we can still hang out and drink beer, but...
Oh, yeah. No, you wrap that up. You'd be like, okay, so we're going to finish this episode on the Patreon, you guys. Catch you after.
Yeah.
And then you start like saying half a sentence. And so it sounds like you're going into the next thing. And then they're like, oh, man, shit, I was invested. I want to hear the rest of that.
Oh, yeah, no. If you want to see Jake's dick, it's going to be on the Patreon. That's like Manly
Yeah, or you
Girly
can just
After
find it on
Hours.
FetLife or Pornhub. Let's fucking go.
If you like feet, I think he also has a, Rate My Feet account. That's why he's wearing those boots, you know. He
Big
keeps
up.
them he keeps them in the holster, you know. They're weapons of mass destruction. You know, Putin's 10 nukes are inside those boots right now.
Nuke boots.
All right, well, yo, it was good kicking it with you. I look forward to seeing what this grows into.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, Eddie.
What do you got?
Nice to meet you.
Where should people find you? Not playing tennis anymore.
Nah,
Tennis
I'm
not the
still
one.
gonna do tennis club. I was just bullshitting to make people feel bad.
You know
'cause
what-
I was lonely.
Will
Yeah.
you let Manly Girly play tennis with you? We wanna
Yeah, let's have a tennis day.
Yeah, come through. No, I'm gonna join like a league or something because it turns out I thought I couldn't play because of the whole shoulder thing, but I'm
Yeah.
actually like I kind of fell back into it.
Yeah.
So I want to find people like really good to play with.
Yeah. Well,
But
we're not
I'm still
really
gonna do the thing on the side.
Yeah, I think I might not be able to play because of the fat around my mid-drift thing, but that's why I want to play.
I think that I will not be able to play because of my hand-eye coordination. Or
Don't
lack
worry, yo.
thereof.
There's all levels. If you come through tennis club, there's somebody at your
Yeah.
tier.
I feel like you are grossly underestimating.
I would
how
say
very-
that Andy's challenge is not so much the hand, it's more the eye coordination.
Yeah.
You gotta. If I take my contacts out, if I look like Mr. Big.
Like she'll be like,
Solid.
where is this? And I'll be.